Okay, so I haven't posted anything for a while. I'm a little preoccupied with trying to get my shit together as far as trying to be self-employed, as it were. I did go and see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes yesterday. Yes, opening day, I was there because I have been in my whole life a huge Planet of the Apes fan. Huge. And I was excited about this one. I have to say, my first comment, I was thinking this before I ever saw the movie. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Aren't those exactly the same titles? Almost exactly. You know, Rise of implies, Dawn implies the same thing. So I think the title is redundant. Anyway, so it's 10 years later. This movie takes place 10 years after the first one. My first comment after seeing the movie is I'm so glad they didn't quote from the original movies like they did in the first remake. The quotes from the original movies that you hear in the first remake are so jarring and so out of place with the rest of the dialogue in the movie. It's a madhouse! A madhouse! Yeah, and get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! I'm sorry, I have nothing against, the guy who plays, Tom Felton, the guy who plays the kid, the bad kid in the Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Nothing against him, but he is not Charlton Heston. This is not the silver screen. He does not pull off those lines. And it was just really like every time I hear those lines, really? It's so out of place. They're so out of place. And in my opinion, they detracted from the movie. They didn't add to it. And they're one of my marks against the Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This one I have really mixed feelings about. First of all, Caesar is a hero of mine. I still say that Roddy McDowall, his Caesar blows this one out of the water. I do like I am becoming very fond of this Caesar also, and the character in general, but Roddy McDowall Caesar is Caesar. And if you've never watched Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, or I'm trying to think of what the other one is, Battle for the Planet of the Apes, those are the two original ape movies that have Roddy McDowall playing the role of Caesar. And he is awesome. He is so awesome. And when you think about the level of emotion and feeling that actor is able to convey through a mask, it is amazing. He was a fine actor, and I'm also a huge Roddy McDowall fan. So that's also why I was a little like, yeah, when I saw the new version of Caesar. The voice is wrong. It needs to be Roddy McDowall's voice. And there needs to be the kind of passion in his voice that Roddy McDowall gave to that character. So, yeah, I'm a little bit like, well, they can't bring back Roddy McDowall, and I'm sorry, nothing else is good enough. But with the second movie, I'm getting used to Caesar's new voice, and he's starting to grow on me. I did find the scenes a little bit redundant with the whole, oh, he's just so amazing, attitude towards Caesar. It's like, okay, stop telling us how amazing he is. Let him show himself to be amazing. The whole show, don't tell, thing about a character. The background characters, the other characters talking about it, oh, there's something just so special about him. It's like, yeah. There's a lot of that, but let's let the character show how special he is. So, and my other little quibble about this movie is there's a lot of dropped loose ends. Whatever happened to Caesar's dad, the guy who raised him? Well, we don't know. The movie doesn't explain what happened. I have to assume he perished with the virus. He got sick. He had such close contact with that drug that he got infected and he died. But we don't ever actually have that confirmed. Nobody bothers to even bring that little piece of information forward. We never find out the name of Caesar's wife. You know, she's just a female. You know, she's treated... Oh, speaking of, there's another fucking biblical movie coming out. Exodus. I'm like, they had the preview at the start of the Planet of the Apes. I was like, oh, throw up and die. Yeah, and there's absolutely no evidence that the Exodus happened. There's no evidence that there's no evidence about the party in the sea. There's no chariot wheels or debris or armor at the bottom of the Red Sea. And there's no evidence that the Egyptians had slaves, or that the Egyptians had Hebrew slaves, or that Hebrews ever lived in Egypt. But I digress. But yes, biblical stories about women, very rarely do they bother to mention the woman's name. Well, that's kind of how it was in this movie. I don't think we ever find out the name of Caesar's wife. And I don't think we ever find out the name of the new infant. There might be one point where Caesar mentions his son's name. I missed it. I mean, the older son. I like to think that the son of Caesar is Cornelius. I hope that's the name he has, but we'll never know because I don't think they ever mentioned the son of Caesar's name. I do like the fact that the ape that turns out to be Caesar's Brutus isn't a gorilla. In the original Planet of the Apes, I'm trying to remember the name of... There's several different powerful gorillas in the series, and I can't remember which one is the one. I think it's Urko, but I'm not positive. Is the one that takes over, and I think that's Battle for the Planet of the Apes in the very last movie. But anyway, I'm glad it wasn't a gorilla that turned out to be the Brutus to Caesar, because I always thought that was a little bit racist. You know, that they had a whole different group of great ape that was more stupid and bad. You know, I thought that was a rather racist thing, and it makes more sense to me that I mean, I just think it's better that they used another chimp to be the bad guy instead of a different variety of great ape. There's also things they do with costuming, like the chimps that are wearing weird costumes on their heads. Never really explain why. You know, it's like, it must be, they kind of make them look like they're like medicine doctors or something, or medicine men, but they never really explain that. It's like, well, they have interesting headgear, you know. My guess is it's because they have something to do with magic or medicine, because they are the ones that attend the sick wife. But again, it's not explained. Mixed feelings about the end. I don't want to say too much. I don't want this to be a spoiler, or I don't want to put out spoilers. I thought the movie was a little bit long. Otherwise, I would say it wasn't disappointing. I was very pleased with it. The amazing, beyond amazing job they do on the facial expressions, and especially the eyes. I never thought I would look at characters that are they're so much computer whatever doctored up. They're not just actors, or you know, that they could be so real. They are so convincing as real people. It's hard to believe that they're not, you know. It makes me think that the whole art of makeup is going to go away, because there's so much they can do now with computers. You know, are they going to even need makeup artists in the future, you know? The sets were awesome. The special effects were awesome. The portrayal of the apes was absolutely wonderful. I just think that to cram a lot into this movie. They tried to cram in at the very start the whole thing with the virus without making it be a part of the movie, which I appreciate, because I think that is not the story they wanted to tell. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of things that they should have had in there that they didn't, that to explain things a little bit more. One thing I wanted to make a comment about, I'm trying to think of the name of the bad chimp. Koba? The one that becomes Caesar's Brutus. One thing they could have put out a little bit more strongly, it's there, and if you have half a brain, you can figure it out, but I think that it would have been a little more powerful if they had made it more of a statement that Koba was created by humans, that Koba was really a monster created by humans. He was not like a normal ape. He was a creation of human abuse, human animal abuse. He, just like when humans taunt and abuse a dog, the dog becomes vicious, and same thing with Koba. And I wish they had brought that out more, that Koba was the result of torture. Koba was the result of human abuse on animals, and they could have made a really powerful statement about that. But I think they again fell short on what they could have done as far as explaining, the movie, explaining little aspects of the movie. Anyway, so it's kind of a disjointed review. I would give it 4 stars. There are not stupid quotes in it from the original series. That right there gives it points. We do have "ape shall not kill ape" written on the wall, and that is quoted a couple times through the movie. But it's a remake of something, and it's granted it's different history. The time travel is not, there's not the time loop like there is in the original Planet of the Apes series. There's no time loop. But it's supposed to be basically, the characters are supposed to be the same characters. Caesar was at the start of the whole Planet of the Apes, the whole rise of the ape civilization. So it makes sense that these aspects of the original history would be found in the remake, but at the same time, please do it tastefully. In this movie, we do see the quote, "ape shall not kill ape," but it is done tastefully. It is not one actor trying to quote another actor and doing a really piss poor job at it, So yeah, 4 stars. I'm very happy it's out. I enjoyed myself watching the movie. It was a great movie. Definitely not in the excellent category, but it was okay, not even great. I'd say it was a very good movie. I don't really think there's such a thing as a great Planet of the Apes movie, except maybe the very original one with Charlton Heston. All the ones that came after that were kind of cheap remakes, but at the same time, I loved every one of them. It's kind of like a cult movie. Anyway, so yeah, I recommend it. A little too much of praising Caesar and how wonderful Caesar is, and instead of showing how wonderful he is. I like the fact that Caesar's older son has his stance, walks like him. You can see his outline. He's a chip off the old block, and I like that. But it would have been nice to know his name. I kept wondering a lot throughout the movie, what is his name? And the same with the wife. And the wife being just like, whatever, of little consequence. Once again, we have the women and children. They're just the weak things that the strong members of the tribe have to protect. But, in this case, it's nature. In this case, you're talking about a society of animals other than human animals, and I believe in reality, in ape troops or whatever, chimpanzee troops, I don't know if that's what they're called, the males protect the females, so, what can I say? I just think that it would have been nice to have a few stronger female characters in the movie. rather than just a sick one that doesn't have a name. So anyway, that's all. Just a few comments about the movie that I saw yesterday. I think the name itself, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, not the best choice after the prequel, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. What's the next one going to be called? Ascension of the Planet of the Apes? Come on, guys. Think of something a little more original. So that's all. If you've been watching, thanks. Bye.